All right, today I am going to reattempt to solve this, my old nemesis, number 33, search and rotated array. So I've been trying to do this for a couple days now, and I keep just like messing up, messing up, messing up. So let's reattempt it and see if I'm able to get it this time. So, minimize myself. All right, let's go. Where's my clicker? There it is. Okay, so we have an array, right? And it's rotated, and it's sorted, but it's rotated, and we're trying to find a target. Okay, so I was watching online about how I might be able to solve this, and I saw that now there's two separate methods that I saw that you can do. So I'm gonna attempt to copy those methods. Again, I've attempted to copy methods for the past like 2 or 3 days or something of this, and I haven't had much success. So let's see if I'm able to keep things straight in my head. So the main idea is we just, for this new way that I found, I was thinking that what we can do, or not I was thinking, I saw that this is possible, is that you first try to find where the pivot is. So I have my left is equal to 0, right is equal to length of nums, and then this is -1, and then while, and I'm still a little bit, I'm not sure what we'll do here, is less than or equal to. I'm not sure if it needs to be equal to right. So I'm just going to put a little underscore right there. I don't know if it needs to be equal to or not. Okay. So I'm trying to find the pivot. Mid is equal to left plus right divided by 2, okay? Now, I need to try to figure out where that middle point is. Okay? So, if nums of mid is less than nums of right, okay? So what does this indicate? The middle is smaller than the right side, which is no pivot in right side. No pivot in right side, okay? So what do I want to do in this case? The pivot occurs in the left side, so I am trying to find the pivot. So I want to move my pointer over. So right is now going to be equal to mid -1, okay? Else, we know that the pivot occurred in the left side. So let me just write that. So no pivot in so I can say pivot in right. I'm trying to think, do I want to say no pivot in left side, or do I want to say pivot in right side? I'll go no pivot in left side, and then I can say pivot in right side, okay? All right, so now, so the pivot, there's none in the left, and I want to find the pivot, so I am actually going to change my left is now equal to mid plus 1. Okay, and I'm going to keep doing this, and okay, when does this actually stop? So when these overlap, right? Like, so let's say I have nums, this, and 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, kind of like this. And then I'm going to take these 3 and just move them over. Okay, like that. So we got our pivot. And I want to find this index. That's what I want to find. Okay? That's what I'm searching for. Because what I'm thinking about doing is I find this index here, and then I do one binary search algorithm to find out, can I cut all of this or can I cut all of this? So let's take the example that I decide that I want to cut all of this. So all I'm going to do is say, like, is my target in here or here? Once I found my pivot, I'm going to see which side does my target live in. And then I'm going to keep the side that the target lives in. And then notice, now that I keep the side, it's sorted. Or if it's in this side, it's also sorted. And because binary search, you cut it in half each time, I can just find one time, get rid of the pivot, and then do a normal binary search. That's what I'm trying to do. So I know that the end goal of this while loop is I want my index to be right there. Okay. So when a pivot occurs, it will always be, I will always want to grab the element. Let's say that they crisscross, right? Once my left and right crisscross, I will always want to grab the left one. But the left could be out of bounds, right? Because let's say that the pivot occurred there, which, what would that mean? That would mean that, let me just try to do that again. What does that represent? Like nums is equal to, like this, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, now it would mean like this, right? Like this. And so once they crisscross, my left is still pointed there. So if they're equal to the same number, I think it's going to be like that. I'm not sure. I need to think that through a little bit more and try to understand that. Okay, so let's just say now, so let's just say left, this is where the target, or where the midpoint is, right? or where the pivot is. Equals left. Okay, so now I want to get rid of the pivot. So if target is greater than found this. Then the ending. Nums so this should be in increasing order, right? Nums of my last index if that's the case, if nums is greater than this, because this is increasing order, and the pivot is supposed to be the lowest number, then I want to search the other side. So I want to set my left, or my right equal to, right is going to equal pivot minus 1. I feel like there's a lot of boundary conditions I'm not thinking of right now. Like, what if this occurs at the end and I go off the map? Else left is going to equal pivot plus 1, okay? So now should I be able to do a normal binary search? So left is going to equal 0, right is going to equal this, and then while left is less than or equal to right, because, and this time I want to do equal to because I want to check that element as well. I don't know if I need an equal sign there. Okay, so now what do I want to do? I want to mid is equal to left plus right 2. Okay, so is greater than target. So if it's greater than the target, I want to just move my right over. So right equals mid minus 1, else left equals mid plus 1. And then I also want to say if nums of m is equal to target, then return m. I think that we're going to hit a lot of boundary conditions. I don't think I implemented that correctly. Yeah. Yeah, there we go. So I'm going to submit it so I have like a history of that. Okay. Now, where's my mistake? This one? Or equal to. So it does want equal to. After finding the pivot, you reset incorrectly. You should adjust the search range based on the pivot and target. So I don't know why I need this to be equal to. So I'm trying to go through and find those lapses in my knowledge and understanding. So in this one, I definitely need to figure out, okay, well, how can I target in on a specific value, right? And I don't even know the value. It's just like I'm trying to find the pivot in this situation. So I need to think through this more. Okay. So now, oh yeah, that is right. So I should do this right here actually, right? Like here, and then go there, reset it, and then set the left or right to pivot. Okay. And then what was the other thing that it said? Range setup after pivot. After finding the pivot, you reset. You should adjust based on the search range based on the pivot and target. So what do I need to do? I need to look for which range the target is in. Okay, so if target and both of these should be I'm guessing that, or I'm hoping that I've targeted in right there, or I've honed in right there. and my index is pointing at that 0. Okay. So now what I need to do is I need to look, is it in from here to here? Is it within this range? So if target is less than or equal to nums at pivot, if it's less than or, no, if it's greater than or equal to this number, and less than or equal to this number. And target is less than or equal to nums at the end. If this is the case, then we are in the right-hand side, and I can get rid of the left-hand side. So left is equal to pivot, and not -1, because it could be equal to pivot. Else, right is equal to pivot. So I don't understand this one here because we're never checking. So we just assume that it's not in the left-hand side, right? That doesn't make any sense. The smallest element, okay. You're using right equals m minus 1. Yeah, that can skip over. Is it saying to get rid of that part? Wait, how can I do this? And how does that not cause a boundary issue? So I can just do only one of them? else this one. And then I needed to take away the equal. Yeah. So take away the equal sign. Oh my goodness. Okay. I have no idea really what I'm doing right now. I think this one went away. Let's just see if it works. So it did work. And it was accepted. Okay, trying to process this because there's a lot. So I'm gonna write down some of the stuff. First off, I need to focus and keep studying like on this part. I understand if I have a target, I can apply a catch like I did right here. This is my catch. If nums of m, so if my midpoint is equal to the target, I return the m. That's what I would call it, like a catch, right? I caught it. This one is different insofar as I'm not catching anything. There's no catch. I'm assuming that once this while loop concludes, that my left pointer will be at a particular location. I'm not convinced of it yet. I need to go through some examples of this and convince myself because I'm not convinced. And I need to figure out like, okay, well, in a statement without catching, in a binary search without catching, how does that work? I'm also not convinced of this idea here of I'm doing this, the +1 sometimes, but not on the other time. Like, why is it this way and not that way? Okay. And then I removed the equals to. Why exactly did I remove that equals to? This one right here, I understand. Yeah, that makes complete sense that I need to move those up. Okay, that's easy. That makes sense. This one, I also like understand it, and I feel like I internalized it more now because previously, remember, I was saying like I was doing the left is the pivot -1, and I was like felt like it was going to cause a boundary issue. Well, now I feel a lot more confident because I'm just putting it at the pivot, and so it's not going to have a boundary issue. So I feel better about those. Okay, and then this one is normal binary search. That's fine. So most of my questions and not disagreement, most of my like my subconscious's disagreement with this problem is in this section right here. So investigate, and then number 1, binary search with no catching clause. Binary search with no catching occurring. Okay, and then in parentheses, how to assume left or right pointer will be at a specific location at termination of while loop. Okay, that's my number 1 question. Number 2 question here is going to be about that, this one right here. So, why can one condition set it to mid, and the other condition set it to mid plus 1. Okay, and then third here is going to be why did I not need to do equal, let's see, left is greater than or equal to right when finding pivot. Okay, so those are my 3 questions here. I was planning on trying to do the other method as well, because there's 2 different methods that I kind of know now for this exact same problem because I've been struggling with it for so long. But it's 4:20 right now, so I need to go and do something. So I will stop the video now, and I will be back once I get back home. So thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, subscribe. I would love to have you along on this journey, and hope everyone is having a great a great day. And yeah, goodbye. My name is Timothy Lee Grant. See you very soon.